We ready? Okay. So we're at the Bunker Hill Monument, which is actually on Breeds Hill in Charlestown. And this was the site of one of the first major engagements in the War for Independence. On the 17th of June of 1775, British forces came out of Boston trying to disperse the American army that was surrounding the town. And on the night before, troops from Massachusetts as well as some from New Hampshire had fortified the hill, building a fortification here that had not existed the day before. And on June the 17th, the British Army landed in Charlestown and began marching up what they thought was a pasture land, and they got to the top of the hill and they had a fire from the American artillery, the American batteries that had not been here the day before. And the British were stunned. They retreat to the bottom of the hill. It's a sweltering day in June. They come back up the hill, and once again the fire opens up from these batteries on Breeds Hill, forcing them down again. And on the third assault, General Howe ordered the men to leave their packs at the bottom and to take the hill. So that once again the British marched up this hill, stepping over the bodies of those who had been shot on the first two attempts. And this time, with the American army out of ammunition, the Americans retreated. However, the men in these opening batteries held off the British assault long enough for the rest of the army to get to Charlestown. Meanwhile, the British had set fire to the town of Charlestown, which was consumed in a fire, and at the end of the day, the British held the hill. Although their objective had not been to take the hill, their real objective had been to disperse the American army in Cambridge. General Nathaniel Greene, one of the American officers, said, "I wish I could sell them another hill at the same price." 900 British casualties out of about 3,000 British soldiers engaged, that is killed or wounded, one of the biggest losses for the British Army. And in fact, over the next 8 years, over the 8 years of the war, some 75 British officers would be killed in combat. A third of them died on June the 17th of 1775. The Americans had targeted the officers knowing that the officers were indispensable to the British forces, whereas in the American army, each man was really an army unto himself and would keep fighting. So it's a victory for the British. They hold the ground. It's a moral victory for the Americans, showing they could build a fortification overnight that could withstand 2 British assaults. This is why this is such a special place here in Charlestown.